In this video, we are going to talk about depression during pregnancy. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys. My name is Susan, and this is the Oslims. So I want to talk to you about prenatal depression or antenatal depression. It's the same thing, different name. So you hear a lot about postpartum depression. It's something that our healthcare professionals all try to look out for. It's taken really seriously, but something you don't hear as much about is prenatal depression. Postpartum depression is obviously the depression you get after you give birth to your baby. I think about up to a year after you give birth to your baby, it's considered postpartum depression. But prenatal depression has always kind of been blown off as just, oh, you're just feeling moody because of your hormonal changes. But now, more recently, prenatal depression is actually being looked at as a clinical illness. So what I'm going to do for you guys in these videos is I'm actually going to make this a two-part video. So this first video, I'm just going to answer the question, what is prenatal depression? And then in my second video, I'm going to share with you guys my own personal experience with prenatal depression and basically how that was the reason why I quit making videos for so long. So what is prenatal depression or antenatal depression? So during pregnancy, your hormones are going crazy, changing like they've never changed before. And these hormonal changes can also affect your brain chemistry, closely relating to depression and anxiety. This change in brain chemistry from all these hormones changing can really be exuberated by certain life situations that might be happening while you are pregnant, such as just the fact that you are pregnant and your life is changing so much, or maybe relationship issues, issues with your in-laws, or living situations, or financial sort of situations. Anything like that can just exuberate this hormonal changes that you're going through and really just increase the feeling of anxiety and depression in you. So some signs to watch out for if you are thinking that you do have prenatal depression. To be sort of clinically diagnosed, I'm going to list off the signs, and you have to have at least a few of these signs for 2 weeks or more for them to say that yes, you are clinically diagnosed with prenatal depression. So in my opinion, you are going to know if you're feeling sad, you're going to know if you have depression. But what your doctors are looking for are these signs, so it's probably what they're going to ask you about. So the signs are persistent sadness, inability to concentrate, loss of interest in activities that you used to really enjoy, inability to get excited about having your baby, or just a sort of disconnect from any sort of connection you might feel for your baby, thoughts of suicide, hopelessness, or death, feelings of failure and guilt and worthlessness, anxiety, sense of dread, overeating, undereating, extreme fatigue, sleeping too much or sleeping not enough, extreme irritability, feeling emotionally numb, and having troubles remembering. So when you do go to your doctor, they're probably going to ask you, have you been feeling a bunch of those symptoms for more than 2 weeks before they're really going to take a look any further at your illness? So the reason that healthcare professionals are now taking prenatal depression more seriously than they used to is because it can potentially be very dangerous for you, and especially for your unborn baby. And the reasons for that is that when someone is depressed, they have a very difficult time taking care of themselves, let alone taking care of their body that needs so much more now that they are pregnant. So you might not eat healthy enough, you might not eat enough, you might not be taking your prenatal vitamins or drinking enough water, or whatever it is that you should be doing now that you're pregnant. So it can affect your baby. Also, another thing is stress during pregnancy can have lifelong effects on your baby. That's something I was really sort of passionate about researching, was the effects of stress during pregnancy on the unborn child. I'm going to make another video about this because it's kind of will go off topic if I talk about it right now. But if you're interested right now, definitely look up Dr. Gabor Mate. He's from Vancouver. He's a professor in Vancouver right now. And he talks a lot about addiction. One of the things that he talks about that I love to listen to him talking about is stress during pregnancy, and how they have studied it now and how they know that it can affect your baby later in life, leading to things like ADHD and addictions and depression in your child before they're born, or it leads to those things later in your child's life. What I think I'll do is I'm going to create a playlist on prenatal depression, including both of these two videos, and I'm also going to just include some interviews that Dr. Gabor Mate has done, and yeah, and then you can get tons of information on that just by looking through this playlist. So look for that coming up soon, or maybe it's already made if you're watching this video a bit later. So that is what prenatal depression is in a nutshell. So you're gonna know that you have it. You don't really need to know what it is, because if you're feeling sad, whether your doctor confirms for you, yes, you have prenatal depression, or no, you don't. You know if you're feeling sad, and you know that you need to feel better. So whether your healthcare professional confirms for you that you have this, or whether they tell you, you know what, it's no big deal, it's just hormones, like get over it. You know that you need help. That's why you're watching this video. So what are some treatments that you can do? So if you do talk to your doctor and they confirm that you have this, medication is an option, but most doctors are not gonna just hand that over to you right away. So you should know that any sort of medication does pass through the placenta. So there is that risk that, your baby's gonna be exposed to whatever medication you are taking. Sometimes it is better to take the medication because the alternative can be a lot worse. So the risk of taking the medications, it's just worth it. If you feel like, if you don't take the medications, then, you could hurt yourself or you could hurt the baby, then it would be worth it in that situation to just take the risk. But before you do that, I would say, definitely talk to your doctor. Maybe they don't feel like you need to do anything before that, but I would say before you do that, there are tons of other options that you should look into to help yourself out. So there are some things like support groups or like private therapy sessions. Hopefully your doctor will have those sort of resources. If not, you might have to search them up yourself and look in your area and see, check out therapists or check out reviews on different therapists. I would not be scared to get therapy done. I know a lot of people seem to have a little bit of a fear of going to therapy. Obviously there's going to be a cost, so that might be an issue, but besides the cost, I don't think you should have any other fear of going to therapy. Like, I have gone to therapy for so many different things, and every time I feel like I have gained something. Like, there's nothing really to be ashamed of. I think it's something that everyone should do. We all have issues that we need to deal with, and yeah, there's nothing to be ashamed about. So definitely that is a great option. If you feel like you're not quite at the point where you need therapy, there are other options that you can do to sort of boost your mood. So exercise is a great one. Doing any sort of cardio exercise is going to get your endorphins flowing and help to improve your mood. Improving your diet can also help to improve your mood. If you're getting all the nutrients you need, it's really going to help out your hormones and your brain chemistry, and in turn improve your mood. So definitely get, lots of fruit, lots of vegetables. Take your prenatal vitamins for sure, because now that you're pregnant, you really do need those extra nutrients. So even just being low on a mineral or a vitamin is going to make you feel down. So make sure you are getting a very healthy diet full of nutrients. Something else that I have seen online for depression is light therapy. So traditionally, light therapy is used for seasonal affective disorder, that SAD. But I have seen online that there's some studies just for depression in general using light therapy. I actually have one of these lights, these SAD lights at home that I have just started using. I'll put a link in the description below to the one that I'm using. But so basically light therapy is just a bright light that you sit in front of for say 20-30 minutes every morning, and it's supposed to help improve your depression. I'm not sure about depression, but definitely for seasonal affective disorder, I find that it does help for that. Overall, I think the biggest thing that you can do to really help with this depression is just seek help. Talk to your doctor, talk to any sort of healthcare provider, talk to your friends, your family, anybody that you trust. Just start talking about it, and once you start talking about it, then you might be able to find some answers. So if whatever this has been triggered by, if it is a relationship issue that this sadness, this depression has been triggered by, address that issue. If you just kind of let it keep going, then the depression is just going to build and build as well. So you have to be brave and just address the issue. Talk to the person that you're having the issue with. Talk to them in a gentle way so that they are able to really listen. But just definitely talk. The more you can talk about what you're going through, the more likely you're going to find some answers, and or at least just be able to get it out of you and into the world and just release that sort of feeling that you're feeling. Prenatal depression is a very serious thing, so I feel like I'm very glad that you guys watched this video, so you're learning more about whatever it is that you're going through. Definitely watch the next video, which will be about my personal experience with prenatal depression. But as I was saying, I think it's really serious. It could be harmful to you and your baby if you're starting to feel this way. Don't just leave it and assume that everything will just be better if you ignore it. I definitely encourage you to address it. Focus on your mental health. Focus on your relaxation as much as possible before this baby is born. Because once the baby is born, it's going to be a lot more difficult to think about yourself. And if you haven't dealt with this before the baby is born, then you're a lot more likely to develop postpartum depression as well. So talk to your partner, talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to your doctor, any sort of healthcare provider. Seek out therapists. Just do whatever you possibly can to conquer this. Focus on your mental health, focus on your relaxation, focus on yourself right now while you can before the baby is born. So I want you to know that you are not alone in this feeling. I know feeling this way can feel very isolating, as depression usually does to people, but you are not alone. So many people have gone through this, and so many people are going through it right now and will continue to go through it. As I said before, up to about 20% of pregnant women do feel prenatal depression or have been clinically diagnosed with prenatal depression, so probably even more women are undiagnosed and have had these same crazy thoughts and feelings that you are going through right now. Probably whatever you are going through, whatever you are thinking, no matter how crazy it might seem, it's probably very normal. And I promise you, whatever sort of emotions you are going through right now, it's not going to be permanent. I know sometimes it feels like a permanent negative feeling, a permanent negative energy just holding on to you. But I promise you that it is not, and I promise you that there is a way for you to sort of conquer this. You just have to face the problem straight on, sort of admit that you have this problem, that you have these feelings, admit that to yourself, admit it to the people around you, and just really shine a light right on the sort of negative emotions that you are feeling. And I promise you that the more you can do that, the easier it will become to deal with this and to heal from this and to feel so much better. I wish you the best of luck. I know if you're watching this, you're probably going through a really hard time right now. I wish you a ton of strength and courage to get through this, to take your time, to not do anything crazy or rash, just take each day as it comes, yeah, and focus on your healing, and I hope that you will feel better really soon. And soon, in a few months, you're gonna have one of these little guys. Then it'll be a whole new adventure. So thank you so much for watching. As I said before, this is a two-part video, so watch out for part 2 if you want to hear about my personal experience with prenatal depression. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Please comment down below if you if you need some support, if you want to talk about anything. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again, or you will see me again very soon. Thanks. Bye.
This is as good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life.